I'm Mark Gibboney. I'm running for the Cucamonga Valley Water District Board of Directors in Division 2. I've lived in Rancho Cucamonga since 1979, and I've been married to my wife Agnes for 37 years. While living here in Rancho Cucamonga, I had a career that included law enforcement, education, and law. I'm a retired deputy chief of police, attorney, and I've taught criminal justice classes to both high school and college students. I have a Bachelor of Science in Laws and a Juris Doctorate degree, as well as a master's degree in management. I think I'm well qualified to sit on the board of directors, but what I want to focus on now is telling you why I'm running. Because if I thought everything was running fine with the board of directors at Cucamonga Valley Water District, I wouldn't be running. But there's troubles, there's problems that need to be addressed and I think need to be fixed. Two of the most serious ones I'll highlight during this brief time. One is their history of changing their election schedules from even to odd years and back again, and each time extending their terms in office. Now, the first time this was done to change to even year elections, it was done for good cause. In fact, the board of directors at that time were at the forefront of a trend to move elections for special districts to even year elections to coincide with the statewide general election. And they found that by doing so, they not only increased voter turnout, but they saved money because there's more agencies on the ballot to share the ballot costs. But the current board of directors, they changed from even years to odd years, also supposedly to save money and to increase voter turnout. Now, you're right that it can't work both ways, and it didn't. In fact, they had a rush to get their resolution approved by the county board of supervisors, and they sent it to them before they even had a financial analysis from the registrar of voters. Because before it made it to the to the county board of supervisors, the registrar of voters financial analysis told them that they would spend a considerable amount more to have their elections in odd years. But they went ahead with it anyway. Now, the citizens, when they learned about this change and supposed reasons for it, complained to the board of directors of Cucamonga Valley Water District. And we told them that not only would it cost more money, but election turnout would plummet, but they would also have to change back again because there was already a law in place that calls for special districts or elected councils with low voter turnout to change their elections to even years, where they had been already. So what were the results of changing to this odd year elections? Well, previously in 2012, their election costs were $81,000, and that was an election year that was a presidential election with high voter turnout. In 2014, their election costs were $45,000. Now in 2017, the year they changed supposedly to save money, their election costs skyrocketed to $281,000. This is what the registrar of voters told them would happen, and they did it anyway. So in the year 2018, when they tried to change back for a third time, remember, each time they've changed, they've extended their term in office by 1 year. So in 2018, when they tried to change back again, my opponent, Kathleen Teagues, and the other director that was up for election was Oscar Gonzalez, and by extending their terms, they would have given themselves 6-year terms in office. Well, fortunately, the Board of Supervisors said no, and they turned it down. It prompted Supervisor Rutherford to say, this isn't how democracy is supposed to work. And Supervisor Kurt Hagman even brought up the topic of recalling the Cucamonga Valley Water District Board of Directors. It's time for a change. Now, I'll give you an example of another reason why I think it's time for a change, and that is a lawsuit, an unnecessary lawsuit, that the Cucamonga Valley Water District involved themselves in. The San Bernardino Valley Municipal Water District had sued San Gabriel Valley Water Company and their subsidiaries, Fontana Water Company and Fontana Union Water Company, for drawing an excessive amount of groundwater from the basins that they share. The Colton-Rialto Basin, primarily. And their lawsuit alleged that they were drawing as much as 2, 3, even 4 times the amount that they were entitled to. Now, the reason this involves Cucamonga Valley Water District is because they are major shareholders in the Fontana Union Water Company. And that allows them to serve on the board of directors. 3 of the Cucamonga Valley Water District board of directors sit on the Fontana Union Water Company's board of directors. And the general manager of the Cucamonga Valley Water District is the president of the Fontana Union Water Company. So Cucamonga Valley Water District entered the lawsuit and intervened on behalf of their customers because they enjoy a supply of water from Fontana Union Water Company. Now, that's actually a very good resource if it's managed properly. But what happened with the lawsuit is after many years, it was settled like many lawsuits are, and the Fontana companies agreed to have their insurance companies pay $3 million to the city of Rialto, $3 million to the city of Colton, and $3 million to the West Valley Municipal Water District, who had entered the lawsuit with San Bernardino Valley Municipal Water District. Now, I won't go into the details as far as what the damages were alleged, but it all had to do with the excessive pumping of water more than what they were entitled to, and the damages caused by that. Primarily, they were withdrawing water in excess of what they were allowed to under a 1961 court decree that determined the water rights to the basin and how much could be withdrawn. Now, I think that principles matter in governance. And here's 2 big examples of why there is a problem and why I'm running to fix it. I think principles matter, ethics matter, and transparency and accountability should be more than just buzzwords. I mentioned transparency and accountability, and I actually wanted to mention something else about how the change in election schedules had worked. When they changed back to odd year elections, they did it without notifying the public in any way other than having an agenda item. They didn't use their website, they didn't use their Facebook page or their newsletter, they didn't ask for public input through any of those. And when the matter came before the board, it was on an agenda item, a staff report, that said the recommendation was made at the direction of the board of directors. But there had been no such direction given. In fact, the president of the board later admitted he was the one that brought the matter forward, but not one other board member questioned it or said, where did this come from? Or why does it say it was at our direction? And that's why I think you need to know that before you vote in this coming election, you want to have a board member who represents your interest and isn't just following direction given by somebody else. I'll be that independent voice for you. I'm asking for your vote on November 5th, and I won't disrespect your trust. Thank you for listening.